reviewed this Dallas Green Bay game, never been a real big fan of the schemes of either McCarthy or Dan Quinn on defense, the two coordinators for, well, McCarthy's basically his own coordinator on offense. Anyway, the two guys for the Cowboys, I think they're both great culture guys. They know how to lead men, how to be head coaches, and I think that's helped the Cowboys tremendously. And I think McCarthy went away from the game and actually tweaked his ideas and came back and has been trying to add things to his West Coast offense, which has been cool. And it's worked for Dak for a certain way, the quarterback, but in another way it hasn't. And I was wondering when it came to playoff time if that was going to break down a bit. And what I'm seeing, and I'm using Kurt Warner for the offense, and I'll use JT O'Sullivan on something I saw on the defense. But it almost looks like some of the extra additions of the air raid stylish way of looking for grass or option routes for the receivers is kind of, it's almost like these two. I didn't think McCarthy was that complicated during the year. It almost was kind of simple. It was like Dak had 2 reads and run, 1 read, 2 read. If it wasn't there, then run. In this game, it looked like they got more complicated, and the same on defense. On defense, there was a lot of like maybe 5-man blitz with man-to-man coverage behind it, and then certain like simple zones, matchup zones and stuff. Nothing super complicated. And then I started seeing like different cover 7s and a lot of like tricky zone coverages off of man looks by Quinn. So I kind of thought this all obviously backfired for Dallas, and I'm not sure if it was like we didn't have enough variety during the year, but now it's playoff time, we're going to add more in, but that's not the time you add more. Believe me, I have no idea. This is a much deeper study. I'm just randomly saying things. I may be wrong, but I'm going by a couple of things I saw in the film breakdowns of these guys. Well, here's Kurt Warner's, where we have a guy in motion here, and he goes out, and it makes for a double post with a guy running deep. It's a nice little, it's a West Coast staple. Boom, boom. But what Kurt's saying is this guy has the option, which I think it looks like he does, to sit it down, go out, or come in. And obviously Dak and him they're not on the same page. And Kurt's saying he likes it when you don't have those options, which I would think so, because he didn't play in that kind of offense. And he was in a really pure timing offense, as far as I know, by March. Unless there's some I didn't know. What I all learned was it was all about the West Coast timing with him. And that's, and Kurt says it in this video, I like to know what's going on. See, there you can show him drawing it up, the different ways that, I think it's Cooks, he can go. Okay, so he has some options here. So Kurt says, hey, why didn't he just run the post and just keep it simple? Because if he runs the post, look, this guy grabs him, he's wide open, he's going to nail this and have a big gain down the field, see? So that's the big question for Kurt's having is, why doesn't he just run the post? Why do we have to get too complicated here? And it's true, it's the reason we get guys are trying to combine different concepts is because the concept in the end of the day, you want to try to keep it simple, but you really want to make it about, we're going to go where the defense doesn't go. We're going where they ain't. That's like the ultimate goal of option ideal. Like if you can find a way to simply have an executable, an easy execution offense that ends up going where they ain't. That's what option football, that's what the wishbone was all about from the running game. There's nothing that can beat that. But trying to sync it with this incredible modern passing game does get a little tough, or a lot tough, and it's definitely a work in progress. So again, I don't know a whole lot here. I just want to point out some real quick idea of like, Kurt has his is an hour-long breakdown of this stuff. So watch this, see? Watch the pass by Dak. See, it was back behind him. He thought he was setting them down. That's because there was not a defined route there. It was an option route. So I still believe in the fact of getting everything we've ever seen in the game and mixing it in a simple way, because I see Kalen DeBoer doing it. So Kurt Warner should study Kalen DeBoer's stuff because it's really cool. But, and I know it's college. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I mean, you have the same athletes on both sides. So, but there is something to be said for saying, like, as much as McDaniel's now putting in a lot of this kind of stuff in the Dolphins offense, he still has some stuff that is just pure one read or just pure timing, because there's something to be said for that. There's nothing like the beauty of pure timing when it syncs up. And yeah, this is, It was a cluster. The Dallas game was a cluster for the Cowboys, and here's just one little play that was a screw up. Now, we'll go over to the defensive side, and it gets even worse. If we go over to the defense side here with what we see here. So, of course, Jordan Love had a big game, but you're going to see this looks like to me like a cover 7, okay, where that's 4-on-3 on this side, 3-on-2 over here, okay, and this linebacker should be right around here, and this cornerback's like cloud, this guy's here, and this safety's reading all this, okay, but this linebacker takes off like it's almost a Tampa. And that's what JT says. He thinks it's Tampa because it certainly looks like it. He's running down the field with this guy. Now, there are assignments where you robots stuff. So, in other words, you just follow the guy. And maybe that was an assignment. He's supposed to follow him. But I don't understand then because he's coming over for him and he's coming in. You're taking up a linebacker and 2 safeties. You're taking up 3 guys over 1. That is definitely not the right math. And that's why all of a sudden you have this guy on the dig just wide open. So to me, I would think he would pass him off, let the safety grab him, and now the linebacker settles down right here for the dig. And he's clouding right here. He's backing up some too. So, that's what I think it was like a cover 7. That would be where everybody's linked together. So either someone did the wrong thing here, or this is a crazy defense because it's not working. If it's Tampa, either way, cover 7 is more of a deeper zone. See how these guys are wide open underneath? And Tampa 7, where you've got a guy Tampa running down the middle with 2 safeties and everybody's back deep, it's really a deep zone. So it's very conservative. So in a way, I don't know if LaFleur's offense and Jordan Love at quarterback scared Dan Quinn into doing a lot of zone. This isn't the only time he does this. But if you've been playing more aggressive man throughout the year, it's kind of confusing for you guys. You're adding too much maybe. Again, have no idea. Much deeper study. Just a quick look at this. Here we go. Later in the game, another Tampa, it looks like, not Tampa 7, but straight up cover 7, I think. But they're showing man-to-man. Gilmore comes over, and on the actual, I don't know if I have it here. No, I don't have it right now. Okay, so leave it alone. But you can see Gilmore, when he was lining up, you see Hooker, the safety, saying, yo, this is what we're doing. This isn't man. We're going to move into zone. And Gilmore acted like whatever. So he decided to just do man. So this looks like man, 1 man with 5-man rush. But what we have is Parsons coming out and this guy late coming out. He's supposed to be out of there. This isn't like you could say, oh no, the scramble made him do that. I don't think so. Because look at the way he turns his hips. To me, that's not a guy. Well, in any way, if he's scrambling over here, why are you bailing out here? That he's supposed to come out. He was real late coming out. He should be down here, right around here now with Parsons. And I think this is supposed to be sort of a cover 7. And so this safety will go ahead and take this guy, and Gilmore needs to settle down here. Could even be a 2 match. And then that way Gilmore's up here more. But whatever it is, this whole thing's a mess is what it is. It's a mess. Gilmore follows him out. The safety's starting to go with him. Says, oh no. Backs up back here. This guy's wide open on a dig. He's going to be way too late as a cloud corner. And by the way, that's Curse, who's a safety. What's he doing at cloud corner? Oh, wait, because we're showing a man look with Gilmore in the middle. I mean, I'm all for variety, and I'm all for faking out the defense, or faking out the offense, and faking out the opponent. But you got to have it easy enough for you guys to execute. Number 1, you got to have it easy. Jim Schwartz is good at that. Easy enough for your guys to execute. That's number 1. Okay. But then if it's like too easy for the defense or the offense or the opponent to read, then that's a problem. So it's tricky business. But this right here just looks like a cluster, another cluster. You had clusters on offense. I mean, a lot of this loss, I thought, it looked like Dallas was dejected at one point and didn't even give a crap anymore. It turned into a nightmare at the end. And again, come out in the second half, and you have Olsen, the commentator, saying, the former tight end, saying, why don't they come out and do a 2-minute offense? But do it right away. And that's called tempo. Greg. It's called tempo. It's what they do in college a lot. Yeah, you're behind by a lot. He should have been doing tempo, not. But I said if McCarthy does it, I'll be shocked, and he didn't. They came out eating up the clock in the second half, down by a lot. So it's a mix of like McCarthy's trying to advance his ideas, Quinn's trying to advance his ideas on defense, but they are old coaches who had solid ideas from the past that no longer suffice. But if you have the right talent and you have good leadership, it works to a degree. But now you're in the playoffs with other tough guys like LaFleur on offense, and then it really tests your mettle. I'd venture to say, and I'm going to study it deeper in the offseason, but this was just schematically a blow up for Dallas. And it was heading that way all year. And I know Dak said he loves the new offense, and they got rid of Kellen Moore, and fans were like, at first, oh, that's a mistake. Then they were like, oh, no, it looks like it was a great idea. Because fans are constantly looking at the result. A lot of yards, then it was good. Not many yards, then it was bad. It's not that simple. It's very complicated. I mean, so much so that JT O'Sullivan's not sure what the hell they're running over here on defense. He's an NFL quarterback. Kurt Warner, the same thing. I mean, this stuff's getting complicated these days, but the goal is to get simple. And like Kurt said on their offense, maybe on that play, yeah, that should have been just 2 post, period. Not every time do you want an option route. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know. And again, I don't want to go too much further than that. I'm stopping it there. But I definitely can say this. I previewed it in my podcast. I did not like the schemes of McCarthy and Quinn that much. I never have. I'm not saying they're bad. They know their football. They're good football guys. I mean, they know football. They know more than I do, for sure. I'm not saying that. I'm not a fan of their schemes. I'm a fan of other people's schemes more. Always have been. Love the way they do their leadership, actually, especially McCarthy since he's come back. I think he's been great as a leader. Quinn's always been like that. So just not a big fan of their schemes. And then now I see that they are trying stuff. I sort of seeing it during the year, but I think I was trying to ignore it. And then this game, and especially thanks to JT and Kurt, when I was looking at this stuff, I'm like, they are trying to implement. But it's like, I'm sort of stubborn to my old way. I mean, I saw a lot of man and a lot of one man and a lot of cover 3, the old-fashioned stuff, the old stuff that Quinn during the year. And last year I saw that too. And then for McCarthy, I saw like his best thing was it was mainly West Coast offense with just 1 read, 2 read, then Zach can run or Dak scramble. Make a 1-2 and then go. Like make it more simple. It's not a bad idea. It's nothing that innovative. It's not what McDaniel and Slowick are doing or anything, but it's not bad. But now this game, I'm starting to go, I'm going to have to, again, a lot of tape out there, and I'm going to take time in the offseason. But it looks like they decided for the playoff game to get tricky. And I don't know, but it backfired for sure.